Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So I want to show you how to do this flower motif. It's almost like a 3D flower. So what we are gonna use in here is in here in the middle. It is double crochet. It's a US term, UK it will be treble crochet. All around it is puff stitch, and all now in here around it is popcorn stitch. You see, it kind of makes like no flower look like almost like a 3D. So for this each flower you will need three different colors, so you can choose whatever it's kind of like no you like it. So I'm actually using that sirdar snugly double knit. So you can use whatever like yarn so it's better for you. And it's I like this one is kind of like that's yarn what I have at the moment, and it's very nice. You can use, you see what kind of hook you need, what size you need. So you need in here 4 millimeter crochet hook. So now let's start. And what else you will need? You will need like a hook. Then you will need a needle, like tapestry needle or any needle that you have with like no big eyes that you can weave in that yarn to weave in the ends. Then you will need scissors. And my advice is actually can you have like a small container when you actually cut ends you can actually put inside, and kind of like no it keeps them in one place. So let's start it. So from beginning, you can start with a magic ring or whatever it suits you better for you. But personally, me, I actually found very nice way how you can actually kind of easy kind working yarn. It's over your finger, and then it's your like a tail in here. And as you are putting, you actually kind of literally put your tail underneath that working yarn. Then your foot putting in a like snapped with the middle finger and a thumb you're actually holding, and over your index finger you are putting your yarn that is kind of like working. So it just kind of you see is that it's like no hoop here. So your tail goes in here, working yarn up here, and it's loop, and your hold tight in here so not let goes at the tail. So now you are pulling, take the yarn over your hook and pull through. So you're just kind of securing, just keep holding this one, just keep in a place. Now you're making chain of three. One, two, three. This one will count as a first double crochet US or treble crochet in UK. And now you need 11 more double crochet US, treble crochet in UK. Yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. So that it's three. And just keep the tail in here, just in a secure in a place, and work all like no those double crochets. So altogether you need 12 for in a ring. So remember that a chain of three, it will be counting as a first double crochet, and altogether you need 11 more. So now you have first that a chain of three, it's like no first stitch. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So you have all 12, and take a tail and pull through. So you are closing closed, yes. So now on a, remember you did a chain of three. So in you chain of three, you actually kind of pulling through the yarn, okay, like a slip stitch. And it's in here. And then some people do again like fix it and keep going, but I like in a without a knot. So now I cutting my yarn, so you have a kind of tail, and pull through. Now I taking needle, putting yarn through your needle eye. So now you see it's in here, like first double crochet or treble crochet, you have that loop on where that it was chain of three. Now putting yarn in here, pull through, and you see that loop in here. So in the middle of that loop, you securing your yarn. And now do weave in your end. Try weave in this one under this like chain. Try to weave underneath on that one, because you will need this in the middle. You will need those kind of space when you can work your puff stitch inside. So try work over that right underneath that, where that like you have that V stitches, yes, like all in here, okay. So that it's up here, and now I weave in the middle. I like to weave in ends as you go, because I like when you finish your work, your ends are actually all done, and you don't need to worry about those ends. And I actually kind of found out that by my own mistakes, is the fastest way. It is as you are going, you weave in your ends, and it's easier for you. Off we go. So middle is done. Now we are going next color. So next color for me it will be red. Now I'm making hoop that stitch, making like that way, that it's working yarn. It's actually going up and down, whereas that the tail it actually stays in a place. Now any place in here in the middle between those bars, you are pulling through hoop. Now you're making chain of two. 1, 2. Now we start doing puff stitch. So yarn over in the same place, pull yarn through. Try to get same half double crochet, or it's in US, or have treble crochet in UK height, that make puff stitch. So you need to pull through all together 4 times, 3 and 4. So you end up on a hook with 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3. 3 by 3, it's 9. So how I actually a little bit is different in here, how I actually do in puff stitch. So I first pull all first 8. So I last one I leave on a hook. So now I actually end up with the 2 loops, and now I actually pulling again like this one. That's for me, it's already is that the puff stitch it's already secure and it's done. Now chain 1. Now I'm doing next one. You can keep your yarn all around, this tail. to working in, you know. Now pull through, that it's kind of 3 one time, pull through 2 in the same place. So now you have 4 times you are pulling yours, you have like no 4 loops on your hook. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now you are pulling through first 8 and then last 2. That's how I actually do this puff stitch for particular this flower motif. So chain 1, now doing next puff stitch. So yarn over, pull through that place and keep in a size like no as half double crochet or half treble crochet height, and you need to pull through that 4 times. 2 3 and 4, that you have 9 loops on your hoop, pulling through first 8, that is 9 loops on the top on the hook, and pull through again and chain 1. So between each puff you have chain 1. So now you work all the way around. Now show you again. Yarn over, pull through next space, chain space. So pull through, that it's 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through in same chain space 3 4, and you have 8 loops on your hoop. So take yarn over, pull through all 8 so that you have 2 left on the hoop, and pull through and chain 1. So it's all together. You all together making with the puff stitch. So, and just working away, and we can go till like the last stitch. So you have now in here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So you have 11 puff stitches. So now I need to make one more chain 1 and making in the last between that like no under the chain you're making that puff stitch. So it's 1 2 3, yarn over, pull through, and it's 4. It's 9 loops on your hoop. Pull through 8 and then put that. It's I secure my puff stitch. So chain 1. So now we are making a slip stitch on the top of that puff stitch. So you can see it's in here that it's chain of 2, what you are actually made it in here, and you're making puff stitch. And you can see it's in here, it's just kind of almost like a 2 stitches each on the top. So that is kind of like it's you pulling under that one you see underneath in here, and pull through your slip stitch, and you're secured in here. Yes, it's kind of nice. Cut your yarn, pull your through. Now taking your needle, I'm actually I like no all weave in straight away. It's easy to for me, because in over a time I actually find that it's very handy for me. So now make underneath in here needle and then in that loop you pulling through and make your secure in here, so it's all around in here. So now I wave in and that the tail. I like to do this one through that where that the chains, like no chain spaces, yes. I like do zigzag way that your yarn is actually more secure, keep you in a place. And for me it's doing this way, I haven't, all ends haven't gone out for me yet. So now cut your tail off and put it. Now we are going to next color. Next color for us is would be green. So you're making like slip knot, like I'm actually doing this like chain. It's just kind of putting yarn over, put through this way. It's kind of secure. That tail it's actually secured. Whereas working yarn, you're working up and down. Whereas at the underneath in here, it's secured. Any space. Now we're gonna make popcorn stitch. So take a loop. Now we will do chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. That will be counts as a first double crochet or treble crochet. And now for the first one I need 4 more double crochet. US, UK it will be treble crochet. So you have altogether 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now take a hook out from your loop. Now on a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, take the chain of 3 on the hook, yes. Now take that loop from here and pull through that chain. That's how you make your popcorn stitch. Now chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we are making next popcorn stitch. Keep your yarn underneath so you can straight away you are just weaving a yarn as well. So now in the next one, you next chain space, you need make 5 double crochet. It's US, UK it will be treble crochet. So you're making 5 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a hook out, just leave that loop in here. On the first double crochet, UK, US, UK it will be treble crochet. Underneath, take that from a last one and pull through, making like popcorn. Chain of 3. Chain of 3 between popcorns, okay? Now we are making next popcorn. So in a chain space in here, you making 5 double crochet, US, UK it will be treble crochet, so you're making 5 of them. 1, 4 and 5. Take a hook out from a loop. On the first top of first your double crochet, US, UK it will be treble crochet, taking pull through your hook, taking last your uh, loop and pulling through, and you are making popcorn stitch. So chain of 3, and that is on each one of these ones in between puff stitch you're making popcorn stitch, and it's all around you are making, and it's all together will be 12. So now we are at the end. So you made, now it's 11. On the final I will show you how you are connect. So for final, chain of 3, 1 2 3. In the last one I will make 5 double crochet, US, UK, it will be treble crochet in the same space between the puff stitches. So you're making 5 double crochet. In US, UK, it will be treble crochet. So in a first double crochet or treble crochet in UK, double crochet is US, you pulling through that hook. Take as a loop and pulling through. That's you're making your popcorn stitch. Now for the end, it's usually between your have 3, but for the end I'm making 2 chains and making a slip stitch. Remember when you pull through that loop on a third of your chain. Now I actually going making a slip stitch on this one. That it's almost make for me another chain, so that's kind of like, no, it's same side. So now I'm cutting my yarn, pulling through, and taking tapestry needle and wave in my end. So as I pulling in here, don't make too tight because this will be missing. So you pull through in here, and you see that in a V kind of shape in the middle, you are pulling your yarn out, yes, and it's around, it's finished, and then wave in your yarn, wave in your end, so I like to do in this one in here that way. It's kind of like, you have a nice and space, so it's kind of, and I like to do like, in zigzag, you can do up and down, yes, or another way you can do like, go where it is, it's where that right underneath in here as well, and that way I secure yarn, and whatever your tail it's kind of left, you are cutting and putting in a small container, keeping all ends, and that is your motif, a flower motif, and it's kind of like, it's kind of 3D and it's very nice. I hope you like it. Enjoy.